Hello, good evening. Welcome. This is second of our two February meetings of the Somerville Historic Preservation Commission. It is Tuesday, February 20th, 2024, 6:50 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting of the Somerville Historic Preservation Commission will be conducted by remote participation. The recording of these proceedings can be accessed at any time using the registration link at the top of this agenda. And welcome everybody. We'll do our customary introductions of the commissioners and staff. Starting on my screen, we'll start with Mr. Coughlin.
Hi, my name is Dan Coughlin. I am a resident of a local historic district, and I live in a historic building.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kelly.
I am the Realtor member of the commission and am a historic homeowner in Union Square.
Thank you. And Mr. Shagnon.
Hi, I'm DJ Shagnon. I'm the landscape architectural member of the commission and a resident of Ward 5.
Thanks. And I'm Eric Parks, resident of Ward 3, architect, historic homeowner. And we have a staff member here, Ms. Chekowicz.
Hi, I'm Wendy Chekowicz. I'm a preservation planner for the Planning, Preservation, and Zoning Division.
Thank you. And on the menu for tonight, we have 3 hearings for alterations to local historic districts. And I believe we have one determination of preferably preserved as step 2 under the demo delay process. And the first on our agenda is HP 23-000058, address is 15 Adams Street. This was continued from our last meeting. The applicant is Just Woodcraft Inc. The owner is Catherine Haynes, and the applicant seeks a certificate of appropriateness to alter an LSG property by altering window openings. And is the applicant here tonight?
Will the applicant for this item please raise their hands? Charlotte Knuckle, you have been unmuted. Catherine Haynes, you have been unmuted. And I will be promoting you to panelist. It will briefly kick you out and let you back in.
Hi there, can you guys hear me?
Yep. Hi there.
Great. Hi. So as you mentioned, this is a continuation of last time that you guys met just a few weeks ago. You guys should have all received the updated submission showing exterior existing conditions and then the proposed new. So we are proposing the new exterior window option A. So what we're proposing to do is to raise all the windows on the second floor of that elevation to align with the original historic window, which is about 5.5 inches. We are asking to shorten 2 of the windows on the far left of the elevation on the second floor to accommodate for the kitchen counter. The interior of this kitchen is it's a historic home, right? So they have the rooms are really enclosed, so there's not a lot of space for countertops. So we're really trying to max out the counter space. So we need to shorten those windows to do that. And then adding in the window underneath the 3rd floor, centering it on those existing windows and aligning it with the original historic window.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I did see your new drawings. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else who would like to speak with you all before we shift to public comment?
Am I talking? I didn't know if I was able to get joined. Yes. Okay, great. Yeah. So luckily we confirmed that the windows that exist on that elevation we're proposing to shorten. When they installed those windows at some point during the many renovations they've had since the 80s and 90s, there is actually a pocket of space above it that is almost exactly the size of the space needed for matching the historic height. So it seems like someone made that alteration and changed the height of those windows. So it will make it pretty easy to realign these back with the windows that exist in the front and in the front of the house, which is a great benefit to making this correction to kind of make this alteration look more more in line with the front of the house and the historic window.
Okay, thanks. While you're here, I'm having a hard time finding the difference between A1 and A, the two options that you list here.
So the only difference is not raising the windows. It's really only 5.5 inches or so.
Oh.
So that would be the original height that they stand now. So that was kind of the confusion that we had last time, whether raising them or not. So it's ever so slight, but that's really the difference.
Okay,
It's
Thanks.
also raising the sill as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
yes, I see it now. I get, yeah, I was just sort of lost in the resolution.
Yeah, it's minute.
Cool. So, I'm gonna have a chance to speak if there are questions and things, but let's shift to public comment. If there are any members of the public who would like to speak about this case, you can raise your hand and staff will unmute you.
Mr. Chairman, I am going through the list just to look for any hands raised on this item. Going to do one more pass through. All right, Mr. Chairman, there are no hands raised. You may close the public comment.
Okay, I'll close public comment part of this hearing. And yeah, I see your drawings. I'm pleased everything kind of lines up in a way. I think that was our concern. Maybe others can tweak that thing, but I think the biggest fear was whether things would be slightly wobbly in the vertical axis there.
Right. It feels more harmonious for sure.
Yeah, and did you have the two windows grouped together like that with a mullion before on the second floor?
They were not centered, so we did center those on the third floor windows. They are now centered. We just had to modify some of the millwork in the kitchen to accommate that.
Okay.
But yeah,
But
so
the
then that,
mullion, you had that mullion between them matching the upper before. Okay, that part I didn't remember.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, who on the commission, any thoughts on this?
I have a question and clarification related to that, which is that the floor plan that's enclosed in the drawings that were submitted doesn't seem to have been updated because it still shows the existing window to remain and the other window separated by a bit. Is that
yeah,
accurate?
you are correct. The
Okay.
updated submission was just to update the
The
elevation.
elevations, sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep, and which makes total sense. That's what we asked you to do. I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, no, thank
Yeah,
you.
and so that means that the right hand of the two windows that are paired is not quite in the existing location either, because it moves to the right to center it on the two windows above. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, which, I mean, to my eyes, it actually ends up looking more harmonious, and I like the result.
Yes,
So
pleasant surprise.
but for clarity's sake, it is not the one window in its original opening and a new window next to it. The
Correct.
painting
Yes,
moves the
you are
center
correct.
on the bay above.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I agree that option A, where, you know, the new large window added to the original window and shifting the placement, aligning with the, you know, the windows above, everything now looks much more harmonious, as folks have noted, and so I have no concerns about agreeing to option A to move forward.
Thank you. I agree. I think everything seems more purposeful now. So given that and the efforts you're making to kind of bring the head's vertical alignment in line with the rest of the windows on that floor, and the fact that this is on one of the least publicly, it is publicly viewable, but less so than the other exposures, I think this works fine.
I think I might have felt differently if their evidence and investigation had uncovered that, oh no, actually that was historically the height of those openings, but I'm not surprised at all to hear that it wasn't.
Yeah, we had a hunch. We had a hunch.
It looks pretty odd from outside.
Yeah, it really does.
Um,
Okay, so unless Mr. Coughlin, if you have thoughts, then I move that we vote to approve option A. In the.
I second that.
proposed-
And
Thank-
just
Okay,
for
well-
clarification, is that all that we need to approve is A or A1, or do we need to
No,
approve
just-
the actual window product as well, I think, right?
The product that we spec'd out, which we discussed last time, is a Marvin
Right.
product. There is in windows that are in place right now are an Anderson product, but a Marvin product's more historically, it's more appropriate for the replacement of these windows for the look of the house, we believe.
Okay, and you'll use the simulated divided lights with the dark spacer bar between the interior and exterior, the usual
Yes, absolutely.
process. Okay.
So I'm going to amend the motion to say, I move that we vote to approve the request with option A and all of the conditions noted by staff in the report.
Perfect.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Kelly, seconded by Mr. Coughlin. All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? We'll do a roll call. Mr. Coughlin,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kelly,
yes,
Mr. Shagnon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So there you have it, folks. Thank you for coming to us with this and enjoy your project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Have a nice
You
night.
too.
Bye-bye.
And now we have a situation here for the next case where we have a member of our commission who is required to recuse herself because she lives within whatever it is, 200 feet, 250 feet.
yeah.
And we don't at the moment have a quorum without her. So I'm going to propose that we postpone this one through the meeting in case someone shows up, because there's some people who have not responded. Unless there's any update from staff, from any of our other commissioners who aren't here.
Mr. Chairman, can you give me 1 second and I need to find out some information and I will be right back.
Okay.
Thank you.
We actually have two cases. Actually, the following two are in the same boat there. 30 Bow Street. Mr. Coughlin had to recuse himself. We require 4 commissioners to be a quorum for a hearing, and we would be 3 without one or the other of these people.
Hello, Mr. Chairman. So I was just confirming the order of events. So since we do not have quorum for 57 Columbus Ave or 30 Bow Street, both items will need to be continued to the second meeting in March. As the first meeting in March was not advertised, as we had no items for the meeting. And that would be the March 19th meeting that they would be continued to. So you'll need to call each item individually and then continue them to that meeting.
Okay, and I just heard back from Mr. Falvey, and he is indeed not able to come tonight. He has a situation he has to deal with. So I apologize to the next two cases. This is what happens when you're involving human beings. So we would need a motion to continue 57 Columbus Avenue. Oh, wait, does that have to be generated by the applicant, or can we just spontaneously move that way?
You can continue items due to quorum.
Okay,
And yes, you'll need a motion to continue.
I will move that we continue 57 Columbus Avenue to the March March 19th, I believe it was, meeting that staff mentioned. due to a lack of quorum.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor of Mr. Shagnon's motion to continue 57 Columbus Avenue? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You'll do a roll call with Mr. Coughlin,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Shagnon,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. And similarly, we'll do a vote on HP 23-000083 30 Bow Street, that we continue that project to our next hearing, the second of our 2 March meetings. Did we specify the date in the last actual motion?
March 19th.
Okay, so do you have a motion on that one?
So moved.
Okay,
I'll second that.
seconded by Mr. Shagnon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Coughlin,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Shagnon,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Yeah, we are a small commission. We don't have a lot of members, so we don't have a lot of wiggle room, folks. And again, I apologize. That's just the way it works. So the next case on our agenda is HP 23-000064. Address is 326 Lowell Street. Applicant is Alpha Excavation, Inc. Owner is 326 to 328 Lowell Street, LLC. The applicant seeks to demolish a building that is at least 75 years of age. And this is the second of the 2 hearings that are involved with the demolition delay process. Last time around, we determined this project to be significant. Now we're reviewing it to see whether it's preferably preserved. Is the applicant here tonight for this?
Will the applicant for this item please raise your hand and you will be promoted to a panelist. Mr. Chairman, no one is raising their hands. Let me, just one moment. Stephen Carey, do you know the name of your applicant group?
It should be Jim or Jared Robichaud.
They are not here tonight. It would look like, Mr. Chairman, I would recommend continuing this item to the second meeting in March, as there are no applicants raising their hand currently.
Okay, and we can do that. We're within the statutory time on that.
Yes, since the item has been opened, you can still continue it.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there any reason to think that they may assume the case would come about later than 7:10, given the number of cases ahead of them? I don't know if there's a way to reach them to find out if they're planning to hop on the meeting in 10 minutes or something.
Madam
This is
Vice,
Steve Carey. I could shoot them an email. I don't have a phone number for them though.
Okay.
in the meantime, Mr. Chairman, and Madam Vice Chair, if you would like to take up the CPC update and
Sure, and we
Steve
can
Carey can reach
do
out to
the
them.
minutes as well.
That would be great.
Yes. The CPC update is similarly brief. We haven't had we had a meeting? No, we haven't had a meeting since our first meeting of this month. And we are in the process, I think, of sort of evaluating the process for finding ways to improve outreach for publicity for people to know that the CPC is out there. And I think that the recent news was that the City Hall was requiring an allotment of a big chunk of money because of one of the clocks falling in with the recent storm last summer. I think it was kind of pushed that into high gear. So there's a lot of work going on that, but otherwise the CPC is kind of bumping along with no real updates. And for the minutes, have people had a moment to check the minutes out? I'm gonna pull them up here.
Mr. Chairman,
We
I
didn't receive any.
Correct. I believe I made the note in the email to you that the drafted minutes had not been sent to me in time to be with your packet. So it's a very quick meeting it's turning out to be.
I didn't even notice that. Okay. All right, well, just like that.
This is Steve Carey in the planning division. I did just send Jared an email. I guess if we have no other business, then it seems they have missed their chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I mean, we're just continuing it. It's not like it's getting decided without them. But we don't really, it'd be kind of odd just to wait. What do you all think?
I agree. I think that they should be here on time when the meeting begins.
Yeah, we don't publish times like some towns do. The meeting starts at 6:45, that's that. Like
Agreed.
like, I know Cambridge gives you a time slot and you don't need to show up until after that, for example.
Okay.
In that case, I would entertain a motion that we continue HP 23-00064 till the next meeting, March meeting.
So moved.
I will second that.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Kelly, seconded by Mr. Shagnon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And we'll go back to the roll call screen here. Mr. Shagnon,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kelly, where did you all go?
Yes.
Mr. Coughlin?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Oh, there it is. I lost my screen for a second. Felt lost. Okay. So everything's continued and we're basically done, it sounds like. Which makes this just about the fastest meeting I ever recall hosting.
Consequently, I would expect the second meeting in March to be quite long.
Yeah.
Because we already had items scheduled for that night. So it'll be a longer meeting. So just be prepared.
Okay, how many items do we have so far in that?
I know we have 2 or 3 items that were already going to be scheduled for that meeting, in addition to the ones continued.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, everybody.
So I move that we go to adjourn the meeting.
Second that.
I just had a quick question. Do we have any concerns about just moving forward, the size of the commission? Who else? It's Ryan, Denise, and then, who else?
Has Dick officially retired?
Right.
No, not yet.
Okay.
But he told us way back that he couldn't be here tonight. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, Dan, we're short on people. We just lost somebody last month. We have how many spots do we have total? 11 or something, theoretically?
We have 7 right now, so we have 7 open positions.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Yeah, 7
This
open
is-
positions.
It's been a struggle for quite a few years, and we were very glad to have you show up, as you can see, because we're facing a even worse of a crisis than this before you showed up. And
Yeah.
in the rule on the proximity of this was not something that we were aware of up until a couple of years ago, because I know I voted on things that were closer than 250 feet in the past. It just was never brought up. So this is sort of a new little monkey wrench. Not a lot, but comes up.
Yeah.
So if you know anybody, feel free to pound the pavement.
And
I believe-
ideally someone not in your building.
I know. Fair enough. Yeah, and I guess maybe we don't have to discuss this tonight, but just questions around people, the requirements. I know that, yeah, I don't know if somehow expanding allowable jobs would help with that process. Engineers or builders, like a contractor might be a good person to have on the board.
Yeah.
When
There
it's
actually is
just
a contractor
architects.
slot. Yeah.
Say that again.
There actually is a contractor
Oh.
member slot on the board. We've had one in the past. It would be great to have another.
Yeah, I was unaware of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That spot's been unfilled for a while. What are the official requirement? Realtor, architect, historic preservation specialist, contractor, and then the rest are members of the public, right? Isn't that how we're divided up?
I
Yeah.
don't remember all
Lawyer.
of them, but
I
also
think there is
Oh.
attorney, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
they,
And
the requirements may be done by the state. So that's actually something we're looking at is the required rules and positions to see if we can get see what we can do to get more people interested in being on the board and that can be on the board. But we also need to check what the requirements are with the state before we check it and change anything locally.
Yeah. And what about, would it be possible to change the quorum amount as well from 4 to 3? Would that take some pressure off or no?
No, it has to be a majority, and I know it says 4 in many different places, so it's 4 for all of our boards and commissions at this
Okay.
point.
Oh, that's citywide. Okay, because I know this question came up before too, and it kind of ran into the gauntlet of legislative reality there.
And to be clear, anyone, there's no prohibition on any, I mean, we have spaces open that any profession could
right.
apply
Resident.
to serve in that role, right? We don't only have the like attorney, contractor,
Right.
like profession specific openings.
Yes, we have a few, I think 2 or 3 citizen roles that people can fill.
Okay.
So we have, like, Robin, you're the realtor, right? I'm an architect. DJ, are you officially? we don't have
Landscape
a lan-
architect, which is officially an alternate, like.
Alternate,
If
okay.
we fill up, I am statutorily required to be an alternate rather than a full member.
Yeah.
Which back in the days when we had 11 or 12 of us actually came up.
Yeah, I remember that. And how about you, Dan? I don't even remember what your background is that way.
I mean, I have a background in architecture. I do architecture work. That's my job. I'm not licensed. But I live in a historic district
Okay.
and in a historic building.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
But we clearly need like a good contractor, and ideally someone who's experienced with preservation and
Sure.
then preservation. When I first started, we had Kevin, who was, I don't think anybody, actually, you might
I
remember
remember
Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah, he was like worked for the state,
Yeah, he works for DCR.
DCR. Okay. He was a good
But
resource.
do you remember Brad Stearns? Was
Brad, right.
the
Oh, he
contractor
was
on it.
great.
He was
Yeah.
fantastic. Oh, well, now we're just reminiscing.
That's right. Back in the old days.
Unless we can tap any of them and say, hey, do you want to come back? But I think in multiple cases, they left the commission because they moved out of Somerville.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how we compare. It's not quite as glamorous a commission as the planning board or, some of the other ones. But I don't know. It is.
Don't sell
yeah.
yourself short. I think it's a very glamorous board.
Well, I like to think so, but
I mean, in the planning board, there's like city employees. They're being paid, right?
Yes,
oh, they're paid. Okay.
Those are like, yeah.
didn't want to advertise that to you guys.
I donate my pay to the pothole filling.
Oh, yeah, all of it.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we already have a motion to adjourn, don't we? So we'll just follow up on that. Do the
Did I
roll
second
call.
that officially, I believe I did.
Mr. Goglin, or do you already
Yes.
take the roll call on this too?
Don't.
I don't believe so.
I don't
Okay,
think the roll
sorry,
call.
Mr. Coglin,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Shagnon,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. And I'll see you all in about a month then.
Yep.
Yes. Thank
Bye.
you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Care.
You all.